$610,000. Does sister wives Kody Brown resent his Coyote past payout to Janelle and Meri? Did they pressure him into redividing the land before it was sold? Sister Wives star Kody Brown recently sold the Brown family's Coyote Pass land for a whopping $1.5 million. And before he did that, he decided to give his ex-wives Janelle and Meri Brown bigger shares of the Arizona land, which meant that each received $305,000. In other words, he basically gave away $610,000. When he made that sacrifice, Kody seemed like the perfect gentleman. The thing is, Kody might have felt intense pressure to relinquish his 97% ownership of the land. Kody used to insult the long-suffering women who watched him fall deeply in love with another one. He derisively described them as entitled princesses. That rude remark is just the tip of the iceberg, and Janelle, Meri, and Cristin Brown are good women. They waited decades before bailing out. They were really trying to make things work. In return, they were accused of parental alienation after their splits. So how does a man who does that turn into a Disney prince, bestowing favors on hard-up Cinderella Janelle and the always overlooked Meri? Possibly, he didn't change at all. Kody seemed to resent the women who'd gone through so much of his life journey with him, and then left him only because he loved someone else. On the surface of things, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Kody pushed them away and then seemed to complain about them. How is that logical? However, he has his own take on things, and his belief is that these women punished him for falling in love with Robin. There may be a grain of truth to this. Back in the old days, the plural marriage seemed less dysfunctional. It was often centered around the children, which made it seem sweet, homespun, and emotionally satisfying. The kids got love from an array of moms, and the family's patriarch loved them too. They did fun activities as a group and lived together. However, the days of sledding and pumpkin carving weren't fated to last. The bad blood bubbling up from underneath began to poison the dynamic, hurting Kody, the women, and the children. Human nature always rears its head. It can't be kept down. While women in polygamy are conditioned to accept a state of silent suffering when they feel very human emotions like jealousy and anger, after decades, it was impossible for the women to really repress all of those feelings. As per Mormonism Research Ministry, sacred loneliness is about women enduring solitude while in plural marriage. Even now that Robin is in a monogamous relationship, she and Kody are fighting, as seen in the clip above. It's hard enough to make it work with one person, much less 4 people. Kody gets all the blame, but imagine how hard it would be. Whatever goes wrong is going to be considered his fault. That creates so much pressure. He's the family's leader, and falling in love with Robin wasn't his fault. The family has been through the ringer, including Kody. He gets the villain edit every single time. People don't really give him a fair hearing, but he has feelings too. Cristin felt unloved, longing for passion her husband couldn't provide. Cristin found it with David Woolley, who's now her husband. Janelle had the same desires, wanting a real husband, at least some of the time. Meri, cast out after an unfortunate catfishing scandal, was lowest on the totem pole, unable to get Kody's friendship, much less his ardor. It was a mess, a truly emotionally damaging situation that left 3 wives feeling like satellites orbiting around Kody and Robin, who were on their own planet. In their world, there was a core family, Robin, Kody, and their children. Everything else seemed to come second. During the pandemic, the pressures on the family reached critical mass. It was just impossible for the Browns to live as they had before, with Kody visiting his non-Robin wives. He was too afraid of contracting the COVID-19 virus. So, the chasm between the core family and the others grew. It's easy to be glib about reality stars, but after decades, the love, time, and energy that Janelle, Meri, and Cristin poured into the family was significant, and that meant significant pain when things ended. They had swallowed their pride a million times, trying to make a man who was in love with someone else pay attention to them. That is degrading. However, all believed in plural marriage and had to re-examine their beliefs in order to free their minds. Above, Janelle focuses on what's working, rather than Kody, definitely moving in the right direction. As people get older, they change, and that's a factor here too. The fighting gets tiresome. Everyone wants peace and happiness. They say that in midlife, a new attitude about ego emerges, and a person is just different. They see the big picture and want to use the time they have left to get along with others and really enjoy their lives. There's less focus on things that used to be important, but no longer are. In a sense, the midlife crisis and its aftermath also destroyed the Brown family. In midlife crisis, the person lashes out, longing for youth that is gone. They may regress a bit. When that ends, there's a period when a person starts looking at their life with a pitiless lens, under very harsh light. They think about what they want for the future. Do they really need to hold on to the same values? All the Brown parents, Kody, Janelle, Robin, and Cristin, are older now and wiser. They have lived and lost. They've fought so many battles. The war over Coyote Pass is now over. Garrison Brown has died. These life events have shaped everyone, changing them from the inside out. And so, people are going their own ways or trying to. Each part of the fractured Brown family is on a journey. The journeys are no longer the same. Kody may not have sold Coyote Pass because he wanted to please his exes and make their lives easier. He may have done it because they threatened to take him to court. However, it wasn't really wrong of those women to believe that they deserved more than the pittance that they would have gotten had he retained his full 97% ownership. They paid into the family too. Kody may have awakened to this, to the inherent unfairness of him owning so much, while they owned so little, when he was the one controlling the money. All of this is quite sticky morally. Yes, he used his money to buy the lion's share, but then again, his wives couldn't freely spend the family money. As the man of the house, Kody made the decisions. This is where the issue of fairness comes in. Now, except for the fact that Cristin didn't get a share, fairness is restored. But that doesn't mean that the sister wives star Kody is at peace with his relationships with his exes. In fact, there's probably more drama to come.